Hello, everybody, and welcome to Everything But the Cats, the only show, and that's it. My name's Gage,
I'm DJ.
and today we are celebrating a little bit early, and for you, it's a little bit late, the birth of my best friend, Abraham Lincoln. Yeah, no, DJ.
I share a birthday with Richard Nixon. Same year, even. I am surprisingly old.
We're celebrating the birthday of my best friend, Richard Nixon.
He's not a crook, probably.
Not a crook. I can't even do the wobble thing he does or whatever.
Yeah.
I share a birthday with Dr. Seuss.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So we both share birthdays with racists.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who both almost definitely took credit from women.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
We're in good company. I don't mean that.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, that was a joke. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're going to be celebrating, and I'm pretty sure the first time that we did have a birthday celebration for DJ, was that the first one? Was that the Jordan Peele, or was Jordan Peele the third episode we ever put out?
Jordan Peele is just like the third episode we ever put out.
Okay. It was like the
My
second
first
we
birthday.
recorded.
Yeah. It might have been the official first we recorded.
It might have been, yeah.
Like the first one that's ever going to see the light of day.
I think the first one was the draft.
Man.
Not the draft. It's hard telling. Anyways,
Yeah.
we've done an idea like this before, is my understanding. And that
Yeah.
one of our earliest episodes, yeah, because your first birthday was the comprehensive, complete, inerrant history of board games abridged. Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back and listened to that recently. That was such a fun episode still. Guys, check out our audio only stuff. It's great. I promise. We're just as awkward. We're just a little less well produced.
But audio only means you won't accidentally drive your car off the road. So
Yes.
That's ideal.
Yes. But anyways, we've done a concept like this before. It was the third episode we ever put out, and it's where DJ walked me through the Jordan Peele movies, of which I, at the time, had only seen one, and at this time have still only seen one.
Get out.
But we're doing it with a different series this time. So, DJ, go ahead and let's intro this.
Yeah. Okay. So like Gage said, it's my birthday. I am turning 30 years old very soon, which is wild. It's how life works. It's how it happens. Like you keep getting older, but I have peers, like friends, who are going to be turning 40 before too long. Insane. I'm an adult. I thought I'd be an adult who had my life figured out by the time I was 23. That was what I thought when I was like 18. Because it felt like the 23-year-olds had it together. And now here I am. I'm turning 30. And I'll tell you what I've figured out about life. And it is not much at all. So you're welcome. There's everything I've learned. No, life is pretty good. I'm glad to be turning 30. I can't wait to be 31 even. Try to not knock my microphone all over the place. Anyways, Gage asked me what I wanted to do for my birthday episode. And I thought about it, and I could not come up with an answer. And anytime I've ever asked ChatGPT to give me an answer, it gives literal steaming garbage.
Yeah, it's like, make fun of yourselves. What's a take that you wish you hadn't had? Or what's an episode that aged poorly? Like,
ChatGPT is a tool to me. We could go through. We were asking for episode ideas for one thing a while ago, and it was essentially like, think about like you guys should talk about the most annoying thing that DJ has said because he's so annoying and he sucks. Is the gist of what ChatGPT was suggesting. So anyways, sorry guys. Thanks for listening, and I'm sorry. Anyways, it's my birthday. Gage, that's what I want to do. I couldn't think of anything, and then at the last second, by that I mean like yesterday, it clicked. I should tell the entire plot of Clair Obscure Expedition 33. And then I thought, no, I shouldn't. I've not 100%ed that game. I've beaten it, but I'm not 100%ed it, so I know there are things I don't know about. I don't know about Simon. Who's Simon? What's the deal with Simon? He's in the game. I know nothing about him. So my thinking was instead I should do something that I've consumed all of, which is the Cradle series by Will Wight. Over the course of 2024, I read by the course of 2024. I mean, between like January 16th and like March 27th, I read 12 books. And then when the 13th came out last year, I read it as well. So anyways, it's been like 2 years since I read it, almost 2 years since I read it. So who knows what I'll get right, what I'll get wrong. What I have here is the list of books, and I'm going to tell Gage the entire plot of the series from memory, except that I've got the list of books. So yeah, so if you are interested in the Cradle series by Will Wight, let me tell you, there are two things. One, major spoilers ahead. Two, incorrect information ahead. So be prepared for major spoilers, and like assume that the really major things are probably mostly right. Assume that the things that feel minor, they could be wrong. So don't get your hopes up, I guess. Or just have your hopes where they should be, which is not up. Gage, before we jump in, what do you know about the Cradle series by Will Wight?
Okay, so what I know about the Cradle series is approximately 2 or 3 things. I know that it is a series of books that you and our friend Bryce have both very strongly recommended.
Yes.
And Bryce
And you still
talked
haven't
about
read it?
them. I still have not read them. Yeah. I don't yeah, it's my understanding is it's fantasy or sci-fi.
More fantasy than sci-fi, but elements of both by the
Okay.
end.
And then there's part of it that is based on the caste system.
Okay, that's interesting. I don't know exact. So
I
short
think
answer, no. Short answer, no. Long answer, like there are levels. There's an advancement system in a way, but
okay.
like think of it as like power levels.
Okay. For some reason I feel like when you had described it at one point you said it was very similar to something in India.
So it's similar to there's a couple of Chinese genres of books that it draws from. I can't remember what they're called. So anyways, one genre is like essentially person with sword gets powerful and hits stuff, which sure, love that. And then the second genre is like it's called like cultivation fiction, and the idea is someone grows more powerful by like slowly like cultivating their powers,
Okay.
and sometimes just by like gardening, and then they somehow become more powerful. I have not read anything except Cradle, so I'm not sure how the rest of it works.
Okay. I was wrong, but
That's fine.
yeah. That's all I know. That's all I really know. And
Okay.
I I know that you briefly described some of the series when we did the gosh, I think it wouldn't have been this past New Year. It was another episode quite a while back when we were talking about some of our favorite books. It might have been when we were talking with Levi about fantasy and other types of books.
Probably. Yeah.
And I know that there was a video episode where you did kind of explain the series just a little bit.
Yeah.
It was Guess the Guest.
Oh, great. That sounds right.
But you didn't go into a lot of detail, specifically probably because you didn't want to add spoilers.
That's right. I do think that this, if you've not read these books, Gage, you've had long enough. But if you've not read these books, I would suggest don't watch this video. Go read them. Like genuinely, such good books. And so I started reading again last year, last year, it's 2026 now. 2024. I hadn't really read much since college. I hadn't read for fun since like elementary school, maybe like middle school, perhaps. And they're just such fun books. The whole series is so fun, and it's just such a cool, good series to read. I would recommend stop watching, go read 12 books. You don't need to read the 13th, in my opinion, but it's short, so you can read it too if you want to. And go do that, and then come back and finish this episode. But I went from like not reading at all, and then I read 12 of these books within like 2 months. So they really captured me back then. And every once in a while I consider going through and rereading them, but I I've like just kind of stepped back into the world of reading for fun, and I'm like, DJ, like you can't just keep reading the same ones over again. Like you gotta learn more stuff. But I will be back unless I die. But I don't intend to die anytime soon. So who knows? We're not guaranteed tomorrow. I should tell you what. Pause the episode. I'm gonna go read them one more time, and we'll be right back. And then if you could throw up like the we'll be right back kind of thing, kind of graphic. Perfect. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so like I said, I don't remember a lot of the nitty gritty and probably a lot of the important details along the way too. Like there's a third book in this, the third book in this series. I'm looking at the title and I don't remember its deal at all. So there will be times where I'm talking along and I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, 3 books ago this happened. So just be ready for that. Anyways, the scene opens, and book by book, I'll pause and let you ask questions, or if you have questions, feel free to interrupt, whatever. But I'll also stop at the end of each book, and like give you time to ask questions. But please do feel free to interrupt. Podcasts are better when people interrupt. I think that was they're better. Podcasts are better when people burp. Okay, so book 1 is called Unsouled, and Unsouled, like sold out for Jesus, you know. But anyways, Unsouled, and the like scene opens, the curtain rises, and there's like a line of children that are waiting to put their hands into a bowl, one at a time. Kid puts his hand into a bowl, and then like a shield pops up. Kid puts his hand into a bowl, a sword pops up. Kid puts her hand in a bowl, and I don't know, another shield pops up. And essentially what they're doing is they're using what's called Madra. Oh yeah, Madra is the name of the kind of mana type stuff. Like the stuff they interact with in the world. So Madra feels like an Indian word, like a Hindi word.
Okay.
So that might be it. That's probably.
Is there a character who happens to like not be blessed by the Madra and has to, through pure dedication and will, fight their way to and train their way to being the best or something, like a certain anime?
Yes, blessed by the Madra isn't quite a phrase. Because the Madra is like water. It's just like a resource that's kind of around, except it's not. There. Okay, so there are 2 things, and I don't know if I stood it correctly the whole time I was reading these 12 books. There's mana, and there's Madra. Madra is like, it exists within you, and it's what you can cultivate and grow, and like the specific word is like cycling, and it's like moving it around within your body or whatever, and like I don't know,
like organs,
creating more of it. Like orchids. But then I think mana is the stuff that's like out in the world that like you like absorb somehow, and then that becomes Madra. I'm not sure. But yes, the reason that I started watching Black Clover, I did finally get rid of my Crunchyroll subscription, because I was like, I've really been trying to like anime, but I can't. Like I gave it a really good try because I'm a good friend, but I just could not pull it off. And like that was like, I didn't just watch Black Clover. I didn't finish anything, but I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and like tried a few other things. And like I really tried. It's just not for me.
I'm really surprised you couldn't get into Brotherhood.
I know. My apologies. I did try, but that's okay. And I feel bad because like I wanted to. I hope I'm conveying all that clearly. Like I genuinely
I'm not upset.
Put in an effort and like wanted to do it. But here we are. Anyways, I did start watching Black Clover because reading a quick plot synopsis, it reminded me of Cradle. There is a Cradle, the word they use is animatic for like maybe the first book or first few books, and it's essentially like a short, maybe movie length kind of thing. That's not quite a movie. It's not like movie quality, but the goal is to get it out in front of like people at Netflix and stuff, and like try to get something actually produced out of it, which would be exciting because I think that it would make a series great. I mean, it couldn't be one movie. It's 12 books. Great movies. I think it'd be really good. Anyways, children, hands in bowls, sword, shield, Lightning McQueen, like whatever. Lightning McQueen is not in this story. But then this kid comes up, puts his hand in the bowl, nothing. And he tries it again, nothing. And he tries it again, and like the elder who's holding the bowl is like, dude, you're a loser. And then sends him out. So he's more gracious than that. That kid's name is Wei Shi Linden. And so it's kind of like the more Asian naming scheme where like technically what we would think of as his first name is Linden, but it's like family name first. And so he's of the Wei clan, and then within the Wei clan, he's of the Shi family, and then his name is Linden. So anyways, ways. He's a huge disappointment to both his clan and his family and himself.
Same.
Is like listing in order who he's a disappointment to is his name. So the next chapter opens up, and essentially that was like he was like 8, and now he's like 15, and he's done this thing every single year, maybe 16, I don't know. He's done this thing every single year, and still nothing every single time. So he's like this like big hulking 15-year-old like standing in line with these 8-year-olds like waiting to dip his hand and the stuff, and still nothing all this time later. And so it's like, you know, he's unsouled. There's some problem with him. He will never be capable of the sacred arts or whatever, and get wrecked, loser. So that's that. He is able to do some manipulation with what do they call them? Is it just scripts? Essentially, you can like draw like shapes on stuff, and like that will like the shapes have some amount of power, but you also need to like power them. But he can draw the shapes, he just can't quite like he can power them a little bit, but he can't draw enough like Madra within himself to actually like do stuff. And so the next chapter sees him like essentially he's looking for a tree that is super old, and it's old enough that it has created like a fruit that if he can get his hands on this fruit, maybe it will help his Madra be better. Or like they'll give him more of it. It might be like what will advance him to the next level. Right now he has like 0 levels. The first level is copper. Yeah, that's right. And so he's got like 0 levels. And I'm trying to go through the levels in my head. Yeah, I'm going to screw that up definitely over the course of this. So sorry. Anyways, he's at level 0. He's trying to get to level 1. And he finds the tree, and right as he's about to get the fruit, his cousin comes up and bullies him. His cousin, who is maybe an iron, which is like level 2, comes up and is bullying him. You get a tool bag and knocks the tree over. And that's when we learn that there are things called remnants. And the idea of a remnant is there's a person who's become so powerful, or like even like a tree, for instance, that has lived so long and gathered so much Madra that when it dies, the Madra stays as like essentially a version of itself, kind of think of like a flickery, ethereal version of something. I don't know. Have you ever played Psychonauts?
No.
Okay, so this isn't for you then. For anyone who has played Psychonauts, I think of the little colorful things that are in people's dreams almost, where it's like just a 2D shape of someone climbing a ladder in like the very first dream in Psychonauts 1 or whatever. So that's what I picture. They're called figments. Just let me search Psychonauts figments.
Okay.
Yeah, the very first one is kind of indicative of like what I'm thinking about.
Gotcha.
But anyways, this tree becomes like this figment that's like ready to fight. Like this thing is gonna beat the snot out of someone. But he manages to talk it down. Like, hey, gosh, what does he say? Sorry, that feels like a slur or whatever. He's very respectful, and I would guess bows quite often. It probably says that he bows quite often. He says gratitude a lot. There it is. Yeah, instead of thanks, like gratitude. Nice guy, very friendly kid. But he's like also like this kind of imposing figure because he's like this 15-year-old amongst 8-year-olds. And he's also like he just works out a lot. Like think Asta. That's the guy, right?
Yeah, it's
the yelling
Asta.
one?
Yeah.
I was like, the name that came to mind was Yuna, but I'm like, that's the quiet one. Think Asta from Black Clover, where like because he doesn't have magic, he's like working out 24/7 all day every day, and so he's like incredibly strong. Like that's essentially Linden, is that he doesn't have magic, and so he's like jacked because he's got to make it in the world somehow. And so he manages to talk Jade down. It probably hurts him a little bit, smacks him or something, because then he goes home and he's injured, but he got the fruit. And so he brings it home and he's like, family, I got this fruit. And his parents are like, dude, that's so great. That's going to be awesome for your sister's training. Because they've put all of their eggs in a basket named Kelsa, which is his sister. Wei Shi Kelsa, it would be her full name. And so they, essentially there's like all this talk, and then he finally convinces them like, can I at least have like half? And so they give him half, and he eats it, and maybe feels a little better, but like no real significant change. We learned that there's a festival coming up, and that's the reason that they wanted to give her the whole thing, is there's a festival coming up where like whoever wins the festival maybe gets to go to one of like the schools, and the schools, there are 4 of them in the area, and they're all like if you want to become like an advanced Madra user person, then you go to this school, you learn the cool stuff. You might make it up to iron, or if you're really good, you might make it to jade. So the levels so far are Unsouled, copper, iron, jade. And like for all the people that live in this valley, jade is like the highest thing that they can possibly obtain. Like they've heard myths that maybe, just maybe, there might be like a gold out there somewhere, but like they've only ever met jades. And like jades are very powerful, unstoppable. You don't mess with the jade. The elders are jades. Like you don't mess with them because they can ruin you by thinking about it, essentially. And so, anyways, there's the big tournament coming up, and so he's excited for that. And then at some point along the way, we probably already missed it, but at some point along the way, we cut to a woman named Suriel, spelled Suriel, and she's flying along. She's like, man, where did that guy go? Where did he go? Let me make sure I've got the right name here. Where did Osmanthus go? So she's looking for a dude named Osmanthus. And essentially, over time, what we're going to learn, I'm just going to like fast forward over a lot of this side story. What we learn is that Suriel and like 5 to 6 other people are like what are called judges. And they operate at like kind of this intergalactic level where they like help destroy and take care of different planets like as needed, because sometimes like infection of some sort like spreads and takes over the planet, so they destroy it. But a lot of them are from Cradle, which is the planet that Lyndon lives on, so they love it. They have a vested interest in it. They like it. But anyway, she's looking for a dude named Osmanthus. And where did he go? I think he's the Reaper is the idea. So like when a planet needs destroyed, like he's the guy that goes in and does it, but he's missing. So anyways, Suriel's flying along, and then she's like headed to Cradle to look for him there or whatever. And then it cuts back, and now Lyndon, he has a job. He cleans up like essentially a museum or like a bookstore kind of idea. He just kind of cleans it up, helps keep it tidy, and he decides that he's going to open a scroll, and he's going to look for a path that will work for him. Yeah. Okay. So he's going to, because they're paths, and what each of these people are, like the sword is like the path of the sword, and the shield is the path of the shield. And so the idea is like if you're the sword person, then you're better at like offensive magic, and if you're the shield person, you're better at defensive magic. And if you're the Lightning McQueen person, you're ka-chow.
Going fast.
Gotta go fast, as they say, as Lightning McQueen says.
Famously,
you are speed. But anyways, he's like, I've got to go find a path that works for me. And so he goes and he looks, and they're like, yeah, I'm too busy thinking ahead, like all things I'm figuring. I'm also spending like forever in the first book. It's going to speed up as we go along, because I remember the first book really well, and it just gets worse along the way. He happens to find this thing where it's like, essentially this book says like, okay, so I learned that there was this guy, he was a real tool bag, and he had an ability where he would punch me and he'd knock the Madra out of my core. The Madra goes into your core, within your inside, wherever that is. Don't know. And so I learned that the key to handling this guy who was a real tool bag and would punch the Madra out of me like a jerk is that if I split my core into 2 cores, then I could handle it. I could take it. And so he reads that and he's like, okay, the issue with that guy was that he was punching with pure Madra, and all I can handle is pure Madra. Like when you get advanced, you can do Madra that's like lava Madra or like fire Madra or whatever. But all he can do is pure stuff because he can't absorb mana yet. And so he's like, okay, I've got pure Madra. I can use this thing, and if I can knock the Madra out of their core, then no matter kind of what level they are, I can fight them almost as an equal. Like it essentially kind of maybe takes away their power, and so then he can fight them as an equal. So he works really hard learning it, and his sister does it to him, and like it blows, like sends him for a loop. I don't know. It's bad. And then he works on it until he perfects it as well. And now the day of the tournament has come, and because he's unsouled, he gets to compete against he gets to compete against the coppers, who are like technically above him, but they're 8. And he like wins the copper part of the tournament by just like just knocking their Madra out of them, and then they're like essentially knocks the wind out of them, and then like throws them out of the ring. Because again, they're children.
A 15-year-old muscle-bound football player comes in and just starts punching a bunch of third graders.
Correct. Yeah.
And then
so he does that,
them.
and then throwing them. So he does that, has a wonderful time, and wins. And because he wins, he gets the chance to face someone. And he's decided, like, all right, I'm going to face off against a silver, an iron, to prove like that I should be allowed to go to one of these schools. And he's got this whole plan, like he yells like, all right, you people who are here from the schools looking at us, if I fight an iron and win, you have to accept me, right? And essentially one of them is like, oh, fine, sure, whatever. I'm probably getting this part wrong, to be clear. And so right as that's about to happen, there's like this whole scene where there's a showdown. I don't even remember why there's a showdown. Oh, it's because like something with his cousin from earlier had brought dishonor to the family, so there had to be like a duel, and so he like used his secret technique on his uncle, who's a jerk, and like embarrassed him in front of the whole clan, and it was really cool or whatever. But then anyways, he's gonna do that same thing, but then all of a sudden one of the schools had been like acting suspicious, and it makes sense because they're like, oh, Harold, the king is here. Not the king's name is Harold, but like Hark the Herald, I don't know. The king is here or whatever. And this guy shows up who's like really powerful, and he's like, oh, I'm going to kill you all. And he like kills Lyndon's mom, no problem. And then Lyndon is like, all right, I've got just the tool for this. I was born for moments such as this. Again, this guy is more powerful than anything they've ever seen, than anything that any of these people have ever seen. And Lyndon's like, I've been practicing, and like goes up and like does this thing. And then the guy turns and just like cuts his head off. Or like cuts his torso off. Like I think he cuts him in half, essentially.
Like he bisects him. And then it's essentially like Lyndon's like, yeah, I watched my dad be like, what? And then the chapter ends, and it's like, well, we're still in the first book. There's a whole lot of books left to go out of half a boy. So then it cuts to Suriel, who like has noticed like there's like an anomaly here. What's this guy doing here? This guy's broken out of prison. And so she goes, and she shows up right like just in time to see this unsouled person go up and fight this guy, and she's got like really powerful scanning stuff, and so she sees like, oh, he's like capable of really great things, but like he's just got one minor problem within his Madra channels, but if someone fix it, then he'd be all right. She shows up and like essentially rewinds time a little bit because she has the ability to do that, and then takes the guy and arrests him, and he's like, no, it's fine. I was going to be good. And then gets arrested and is in a way. But then she walks Lyndon along and is like, hey, you can do really cool stuff. Here are a bunch of other scenes that are happening on the planet right now. Here's a 12-year-old that's way more powerful than you could ever fathom. Like, than you can possibly fathom being. And here's this person. And over here, there's this person. And she needs your help. And she's over there at one of the schools. So you should go help her. She's in a pit over yonder. And so I don't know if she says her name or not, but so we'll get to it later, I guess. No, we'll do it now. Her name's Yaren, is what her name will be. But anyways, he has convinced one of the teachers let him go to that school, so he goes to that school,
and it's kind of a long story. There's like a really difficult path you're supposed to take to get there that you like need to have magic powers to be able to do, but he just kind of cheats his way up, like notices someone going up the path in like a buggy and is like, oh yes, I was on my way there too, could you give me a ride? And they just let him in, and then he hops in, kind of jumps out, finishes the last little bit of it. Great. Some people don't like the first book because it's like, this guy's so weak and so useless the whole time. But I really enjoyed the first book because like the whole book is like, this kid is so scrappy and like he'll do whatever it takes to like he knows that he is capable of something great, and that the only thing that's stopping him is the stuff that's stopping him. And so he's going to do everything within his power to like I love the first book. Huge fan. And I think it's a good setup for what's to come. Anyways, he starts going to school. He not becomes anything. Everyone bullies him. They beat him up and stuff because he's a loser. But he gets access to a library at one point, or not a library, but just like a room full of stuff for like, if you do really good on a test, you can get this artifact or that artifact or whatever, like an arcade, I guess, but not. And the person's like, all right, well, I trust you. You're a good kid. Don't steal from me. And he's like, I would never. And then he goes and finds Yaren, who's in a pit, and manages to help her. And it turns out that she came with a guy named the Sword Sage, because she's his apprentice. And Sage is a level that's like we've not gotten there yet. We'll get there in many books. And so she helps him, or he helps her get out of that situation, but he's useless, right? Like, she's good. She might be Jade already, so she's like as powerful as people are, and she's like his age, like as powerful as the elders are in his area, and she's like his age. But he helps her. They get through it, but then he does steal a bunch of stuff from the school, and the guy's like, what the heck? And the principal of the school kind of becomes the primary antagonist. And so the end of it is like him dying. And then he dies. They ride off on, this is, I think it's a Dragon Ball Z type thing. Like, they ride off on a cloud that they can drive. And then that's that. That's book 1. And we have recorded for 37 minutes. Only 11 left to go. You have any questions? Like I said, the rest will be faster.
So, Suriel recognizes that Lyndon has the ability to be capable of good things if somebody just helps him out with this really simple thing that's causing him to not be able to use the Madra well. And she's like...
and she also, like, fixes him, to be clear.
I was like... And she's just like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything about that. Go on your way.
Yeah. She fixes him. By the end of the book, he has become a copper. I'm pretty sure by the end of the book, he's become a copper. If not, it's early in the next book.
I'll say he should have. He already like kicked a bunch of copper's butts.
Yeah, I mean, he kicked Iron's butts. He was present while butts were kicked. But yeah, so he... What was I going to say? Copper, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, anyways... He becomes a copper, and when you become a copper, you're able to start seeing the like mana in the world around you, so you can see like, oh, in this place with water, there's water mana that I could absorb into my system. So there's that. Next is Soulsmith, is book 2. I guess, do you have any more questions or anything?
Not for book, no, for the sake of time.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, let's get through book 2, and then you can ask me any book 1 questions you have. Soulsmith, book 2, he shows up at a desert, like, community. There's a guy named Jai Long that is there in this community, and he's kind of a jerk. Man, this one is going to be so much briefer. This will be a normal episode, I think, lengthwise. He's kind of a jerk to Lyndon, but he's a gold. So, like, there have been myths of golds maybe existing out there somewhere. But he's a gold. And not only is he a gold, and are there just kind of golds out and about, there's tell that soon, before too long, an Underlord will be visiting. And so everyone's all scurrying around like, oh no, the Underlord of the Aurelius clan is going to be coming and visiting us. We've got to be ready to, impress him or whatever. And so essentially throughout the book, like, Lyndon is trying to lay low because he just killed someone, or like was present when someone died, more or less. And so he's trying to lay low, but for some reason there's like a pyramid or like a tower or something that needs cleared out, and like a dungeon, and so they're like sending people in to clear it out. And when people, yes, because it's full of Madra. There it is. It's full of Madra, and when you have enough Madra, you can like distill it. You can like, I don't know, this feels like the proper way to visualize it, and it becomes a little coin. And then this coin can be used as currency. Like, I'll give you some magical power if you'll give me a cheeseburger and fries. Is kind of the general idea. But you can also like use it to like gain Madra, like gain power. And so Lyndon is like, bro, I could steal some of that stuff. That'd be dope. Again, I love this guy. Like, I feel like I don't know, I'm not the poster child of a person that's like born into limited circumstances and like fights really hard to overcome them. Like, I was born into pretty limited circumstances. I've not had to like fight all that hard. I'm not like a beacon of willpower and like stick-to-itiveness or whatever. But I like it, and I like that guy. So, anyways, there's that. But he ends up being forced like into this mine. But then along the way, he meets a guy named it's spelled Eithan. We're just gonna call him Ethan because that feels cooler than Ethan. So he meets Ethan. Excuse me, and Ethan is this really cool, friendly guy that seems to take him under his wing and is like I don't know, maybe a gold or whatever, and takes him under his wing. And then they're gonna steal. There's like some powerful sword or something that's in the middle of this tower or pyramid or whatever, and they're gonna steal it because it'll make Lyndon powerful. Ethan even is like, hey, like, I want to train you. Like, I've been looking for someone to train, and you and Yaren like seem like great people for me to train. I would love to train you guys. I'm a gold. I'd love to train you. And so he starts training them, and then there's this like moment where like there's some lizard that if it, or snake or something, that if it bites you, it's like a super deadly poison, but if it's also like it helps you get more powerful or something. I can't remember exactly what the deal is, but there's this moment where like Lyndon like lets it bite him so he can get more powerful, and Ethan's expecting him to do it like maybe once, and like Lyndon like, you know, convulses or whatever a few times, and I was like, again. I love this guy. Like, he's such a good character, and then does it like 10 times or something because like he knows that every bite he gets more powerful, and so just keeps getting more and more powerful. Probably becomes an iron at some point during this book, if I'm correct. Might even become a jade by the end of this book. Tell you what, we'll assume iron. Yeah, I'm just looking at the list of books here. But anyways, becomes at least an iron, and like lets this thing bite him. Manages to steal the sword. Has a showdown with Jai Long, and then right as Jai Long's about to like kill him or whatever, it's revealed that Ethan is the Underlord that was planning to come, and hey, don't kill him, he's my boy. And so he doesn't kill him, but Jai Long is frustrated, and we'll see him again later. Only thing is, I don't remember when, if we're honest. So we might not see him again later, but he's supposed to be back. So there's that. Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Okay, so Ethan, okay, I've got it. Ethan talks to Jai Long and he's like, all right, here's the deal. Right now, you'll beat him up, you'll destroy him. That's not going to win any honor for you. If you somehow lose to him, that's no honor for you. Give me a year to train him. Let's make him as powerful as we can within a year. You'll still beat him. It's okay. Like, look at him. Look at him. And Ethan's over there like, but anyways, let's fight. Or like, let's wait a year and then you can fight. And so they postpone it a year. And now we go to book 3. Again, it's probably more entertaining than what I just said. Do you have any questions? That one took like 10 minutes. Still a long time.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Sweet. All right. Book 3, Blackflame. Ethan takes him to his hometown of Serpent's Grove, something like that, and is like, hey, it's training time. And so the training is that he's going to learn, because he's at least a copper now, he's going to like start absorbing Madra. But if he ever absorbs like Madra that isn't pure, then he's going to lose his like fist ability thing to like knock the Madra, like knock the air out of people's windpipes or whatever. So they're like, man, what do we do? And then Lyndon is like, I read that book 2 books ago when it said that the guy split his core into 2 so that he could avoid getting punched by the tool bag that did what I'd like to do. And so they figured out and they split his core into two. And so now he's got one core that's like pure Madra, and then this other core is going to be used for Blackflame, and it's fire that's black, I guess. I don't know. He learns it from a turtle, a big turtle named Orthos, who's very powerful and angry, and he helps him calm down and get over himself. And as he's like training, all of a sudden people, and I think it might even be like Jai Long's people, show up and attack the city and are like getting ready to trying to destroy the city, being real jerks or whatever. The Jai clan, specifically. Jai Long's people are the Jai clan, and Long is his first name. And so they attack the city, and like Lyndon has no idea that it's happening because he's training in some cave with Orthos. Oh, at some point he also got a little blue flame person. I can't remember what they're called, but a little blue flame person that he's growing along the way too. And she keeps getting bigger. He gives her Madra and helps her grow. I can't remember her name, so sorry, internet. But anyways, he's training, and then maybe the time comes for the duel, and he loses it, wins it. Definitely loses it. But if he does win it, it's because of some tricky thing that he pulled. And then there are little hints along the way that Ethan is just doing stuff that an Underlord is fighting him and is super winded and what is this guy doing? How did he escape that powerful attack that I did? What's going on here? So that's the thing. But anyways, the duel happens and Lyndon wins or loses. Either way, he survives. And then that's book 3. That one I did in 3 minutes.
Let's go.
Good. Yeah. Do you have any questions now? Now that our standard is 3 minutes?
Who was the duel against? Was it Jai Long or was it Ethan?
Jai Long.
Okay.
Jai Long versus Lyndon.
Okay, Jai Long versus Lyndon. And Jai Long was doing things that Lyndon should have been much more beat up by, but he was just getting winded and stuff.
No, sorry. Ethan is fighting against another Underlord.
Oh, okay.
And the Underlord, maybe even an Overlord, which is the step above Underlord. Weird enough. And Ethan is just a bit winded and kind of dodging attacks. How did he dodge that? How did he escape this barrier that I created? So that's just a thing that you're like, weird. I don't know about that. So anyways, that's book 3. Book 4 is called Skysworn, and there's essentially this elite fighting agency called Skysworn, and Lyndon, Yaren and Ethan join it, and I don't remember anything else that happens in this book.
Yaren and Ethan join it, and Lyndon is there somehow?
No, Lyndon's in it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the 3 of them join.
They join it. And there is, so he, at this point, he might be what's called low gold. So within gold, gold is just a thing, but there is within gold, low gold and high gold. And low gold involves you've just kind of graduated to that level. And I think high gold is you've realized, it's, whatever it is, it's a little cheesy. It's you've realized the reason behind your powers or what you really value or whatever. And then to become Underlord is another similar, you found out what you're fighting for, or I don't know, something like that. I love it all. I want to be clear. I love this book series, and I think everyone should read it. It's still not all spoiled yet. It's not too late. If you're listening to this episode, stop it. Will Wight says it way better than I do. I did book 4 in 15 seconds. It was a whole book, and it was good, even though I don't remember much about it. One thing that I remember, though, in Skysworn is that it's the very first moment. So this is 4 books in. There's a moment where someone is giving him trouble or someone tries to fight him. And he's all right, let's fight. And so he, Lyndon fights them and smacks them and injures them. And so it's the first moment in any of the books where it's he's oh, I'm too powerful. what was I thinking? Like, I need to back off. I was too powerful in that moment. And so it's like the very first moment where he's like this is where we're going. So that's one thing I do remember from that book. I wish I remembered more. I'll reread it sometime, and maybe we can redo this episode. We won't. You should read them. Next is Ghostwater. That's book 5. Now, I honestly don't remember a ton from this. I remember the general idea. Somehow, Lyndon, either by himself, or with Yaren, or with Ethan, or with both, I can't remember which, some combination of people have ended up essentially inside this bubble that's underwater. And this bubble is, I can't remember if they already know or if it's something they figure out along the way. It was created by a monarch, which is like the highest entity. It was created by a monarch called Northstrider, where he likes to do research or something. And so they're in this bubble, or he is in this bubble. Some combination of people are in this bubble, and there are other people. Like, there's some relic that they're trying to find or something. It's probably a Skysworn mission is why he's in it, or they're in it. That there's some relic that they're trying to find, but other people are also trying to find it as well. And so there's like almost this showdown of sorts where he's trying to find it. And so he fights multiple people stronger than him, and manages to like narrowly avoid. And there's a dragon person whose name I don't remember. She'll be back for like a couple books, and then she'll die. Spoilers, but it's okay. I don't know her name, so could be anyone. But anyways, they're like to find this relic, and then eventually they end up in this cave. They meet a guy named Ziel or something like that. Ziel, I think. Let me look it up. Yeah, it could be Zeal. He looks like his modular or something is like broken in some way, but he just is very kind of quiet and like standoffish, but not like in a mean way. Like, other people want to kill Lyndon, and this guy's just like, leave me alone. So nice enough guy in the grand scheme of things. And then eventually they find this room that's like full of like almost holologs is probably a good way to put it. Like, not hollow logs, but like holographic logs, like holographic journals almost, where you can like watch a video and see something. And so there might be like ways to learn new abilities or something, I don't remember. And there's some kind of thing, like if you get just a drip from like this fountain or whatever, it's enough to like make you really powerful or something like that. I don't remember, but they somehow, using that and like some tool that they find, they're able to create this little sentient what's the best way to put it, AI that lives in Lyndon's head that they named Dross. And it's really fun and funny and cool, and it helps them. And it can do like, so like think, have you watched all of Sherlock? Have you watched any of Sherlock?
I think like for sure the first 2 seasons.
Okay, so I'm sure this would include, and maybe even in Sherlock Holmes. Like, it's probably just a Sherlock Holmes general thing. But like there's a moment where like a fight's about to happen, where like time pauses as he processes like exactly how the fight's going to go. Like, I'll do this, which will cause that guy to do that. And essentially this guy lives in Lyndon's head and can do that stuff. And just so
broken jaw.
Exactly. And so he'll like, essentially Lyndon can look and he can like Dross in his head can like plan like, yeah, okay, you're going to do this and this and this and this. And so now immediately Lyndon is like significantly more powerful because he's got this little guy in his head planning his fighting for him. So that's fun. And then I don't remember how that book ends, but the next book is called Underlord.
And that's book 6 is Underlord.
Book 6 is Underlord. You're never going to guess what Lyndon becomes by the end of this book.
Gold.
Lyndon will be an Underlord by the end of this book. And here's the thing. I remember the title of this book. Oh, okay. There's another big tournament coming up. It's called the Uncrowned King tournament or something like that. That essentially is like this really big deal. And if you're fighting in it, then you're one of the greatest of the greats. Not only that, like you're guaranteed to be set up for like a really comfortable life, because like you're probably like a Nepo baby anyways, but there are rewards and all that. And so, yeah. Okay. So This book, in Ghostwater, he met a woman named Akira Mercy. So Mercy is her name. Akira is her family name. Also, Ethan is Ethan Aurelius. It's like his name is Ethan. His family name is Aurelius. So they're more of a European family or something. I don't know. Which Aurelius sounds more European than any of these other names. But he meets Akira Mercy, who's around his age, very friendly, and her ability is that she has like there's something that she doesn't quite want to access within her ability, but she has a book and she can like turn to a page and like use that ability or whatever. Black Clover. But anyways, meets her, and then in Underlord essentially goes home with her family. And by this point, like Ethan and Yaren, like they aren't a thing, but they've like, you know, kind of slowly been becoming a thing over the course of the books. And they're not really a thing until like maybe book 11, but we can just skip over all that now. But there are going to be points along the way where Mercy is also kind of interested in Ethan, but it's never like a really big thing. It's just her like.
You mean Lendon?
Yeah. What did I say?
Ethan.
Oh yeah. She's into Linden. Appreciate it, but it's never like a thing. Like there's never any like big fight. Like you're after my man or anything like that. Just like, oh man, he's cool. Too bad he's taken, and that's that. Like I'm gonna die alone. Too bad he's taken. So there's that. But anyways, over the course of Underlord, he's training. He goes to the Mercy clan for some reason because the Aurelius clan is kind of an under clan to, I say the Mercy clan, the Akira clan. They're kind of an underling clan to the Akira clan, if I remember right. And so if he's going to be put into this, or because the Aurelius clan already has people for the Uncrowned tournament, so if he's going to be entered in the tournament, it's got to be as an Akira team member. So he is essentially over the course of Underlord, he goes to the Akira homeland and trains like he does over the course of it, becomes an Underlord. There's a guy named Akira, we'll say Justice, that's like Mercy's brother and just beats the snot out of him all the time, like for fun. And that's that. But then he trains, and then the next book is Uncrowned, and it's the tournament. Do you have any questions? I know I've given you like way more detail than you were looking for.
Simultaneously, way more and way less than I was expecting. No, I'm following what's in front of me at least.
Yeah, I read book 1, and then I was just going. I had a goal of reading at least a book a week, and I did it, but maybe it hurt me now, but that's okay. How could I have known? I also finished the last book. I had maybe 2 chapters left to go in the last book when Isaiah was born, and so Angela's like pushing or whatever, and I'm like, wait just a minute, like I've got to figure out. That's a joke. I did read it in the hospital though, like a couple days after Isaiah was born, and like, yeah, I don't follow the last one super well. But anyways, that's okay. That's neither here nor is it there. Underlord, book 6, he trains the whole book to get ready for this tournament. To hopefully be chosen for this tournament, and he is. He's chosen. Akira Mercy is chosen. I think he might have like technically stolen, and Akira Justice, like Mercy's brother, he might have stolen Justice's place in the tournament. Whoops. And there are Aurelius people that are entered. Like I think Ethan is entered, plus someone else. Maybe Ethan has already been in it before and won, or like something. I can't remember Ethan's role, but Yaren is also in it. And then the dragon person from Ghostwater is also going to be in this tournament. And there are a few other people. The 12-year-old that he saw that's like significantly more powerful than anything he can fathom is in the tournament. Yeah, she's in the tournament. And yeah, just a few other people that he's seen and that we've kind of had like tangential contact with. Also at this tournament is where we start to see a lot of like, we see more of the monarchs and we see more of like sages and heralds. And so essentially the way that it works, and I'm going to get this so wrong, is there's Underlord, Overlord, Archlord, and then after Archlord, I think you can either become a sage where at some point along the way you get what's called like, Okay. Wait for it. Okay, no, it's not in there. It's not in my head. It's someone along the way. You get an icon, and the idea is like you're the person on the planet who most embodies like the ability to use a sword, and like it's just like it coalesces such that like you have an icon that shows up over your head when you're fighting. Like I'm the sword guy, and you're like the sword guy. And if you get that, you become a sage, and then you can become, I believe it's a herald by consuming your remnant or something like that, or like letting your remnant out, or like you do something with like your remnant, which is the thing that comes out after you die. Also, throughout all these books, like remnants are a thing that they have to deal with when people die or whatever. Now there's this like being left over that's also ready to fight, like from the tree at the beginning, if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the thing. But anyways, you like absorb it, and then you gain its abilities too, and you become a herald or something like that. And then I believe a monarch is someone who's like done both or something along those lines. Also, over the course of these books, we have learned that there is an impending threat. The Dreadgods are coming. And there are these 4 massive ancient creatures that have been kept in a slumber by some powerful magic, but the weird blood people over there are like trying to awaken the Dreadgods. Also, Yaren's like, she has like a blood spirit thing that like follows her. Sorry, that's like been a thing like the whole way. She wears a belt that is like secretly like a blood spirit thing that like tries to kill her and like kill people and stuff. And over the course of the book, she like bonds with it and they become besties. And then later she'll absorb it and become a herald. So there's that. Anyways, we've in the Uncrowned tournament, and they're all fighting, and it's like split into a few different things. Like step 1 of the Uncrowned tournament is essentially an obstacle course, and it's like Fall Guys. Like the first 50 people that make it through, you're still in the tournament. Everyone else is out of the tournament. And so it's this tournament, like you're fighting people and maybe gathering stuff and bringing it back home, and that's that. And so everyone that we know and love and care about makes it through. All is well. Maybe if Ethan isn't it, maybe this is where he gets out. I don't know. But then essentially it progresses to a point where the final round is essentially just a fighting tournament. So like single elimination. If you're out, you're out. Well, it's like best of 2, but single elimination. So you're going to fight the same person twice, but if you lose, or you're going to fight him 3 times, but if you lose twice, then you're out. So anyways, that happens, but the very first round is, I think it's the first round. It's either the first round or the last round. It's one of the early rounds, is Lyndon versus Yaren. So it's like one of them is going to make it. Yaren is more powerful on paper, but Lyndon fights really hard, but he like doesn't want to hurt this girl that he likes. And so he does hold back a little bit. She kills him. And there are monarchs on standby that can like revive people. And so like she kills him, comes back, does it again, and then that's that. And then she ends up in the final against the dragon person that's been a problem since Ghostwater. And I'm pretty sure that I think the dragon person wins once. And so the rule with this tournament is that you have to be an Underlord to compete. You have to be an Underlord to start the tournament. You're allowed to advance to Overlord, like if it were to happen, but you have to be an Underlord when you start the tournament. And so I'm pretty sure Yaren like goes in, defeats the dragon person, and then maybe is like about to defeat her again, but the dragon person like narrowly manages to defeat Yaren, and then comes back the third round an Overlord because she's advanced between rounds. And so now is like significantly more powerful because it's like, what's the word when something's like this? Exponential. Mm-hmm. Kind of the amount of power that you get along the way. And so now she's way more powerful. Somehow, Yaren wins. And the only reason I say that is because I know that Yaren, the winner, gets essentially this powerful magical arrow that they can use to declare like if I use this, someone is dead. Like I use this, I think about someone, single use, that person will die. And she kills some monarch that's like fighting some other monarch or something. And I don't remember what the beef is there. Interesting politics and stuff. Very, very good books. But she kills someone that's kind of seen as like a bad guy. And that person is dead now. That's Uncrowned, book 7.
So I have a question from book 1.
Yep, we've got time for it.
Suriel was looking for Osmanthus, and we're in book 8 now, and I still have no idea where Osmanthus is or if Suriel found him.
Yeah, that's something that's just kind of happening in the background along the way.
Okay.
And there are a lot more details there too. Like, it's along the course of all the books that it's fleshed out. Like, yeah, like Osmanthus was the Reaper, and where did he go? And Suriel was whatever she was, and she's looking for him because like the other ones are going to be angry that he's been away. So she's got to find him because there's also like this bad guy that the Mad King has shown up and is like fighting everyone, and so they need help stopping him and all that. So that's just kind of happening along the way. Yeah, we just cut to them every once in a while. Something interesting is she has her own. So I mentioned that Lyndon has Dross now, and Dross helps him throughout the tournament as well. But she has her own, like, it's called a presence that like helps her, and so it seems like maybe the advanced people all have presences. But anyways, that's the Uncrowned tournament. Someone wins, and I think Dragon Person is dead now. I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know. If she's not dead, she'll be dead soon. That's Uncrowned. Any other questions, Gage?
No. Yeah, no, I'm good. I feel like, yeah.
Great. Have I convinced you to read it?
Actually, I think I'm more likely to read it now than I was before.
Because of all the... DK hasn't spoiled anything. It's like the opposite of spoilers in this podcast.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, happy to help. Anyways, we're in book 8 now. Wintersteel. Wintersteel is a fun one. It gets referenced a lot. Essentially, they're fighting, but the Dreadgods are incoming, and maybe even there's like a Dreadgod whose whole thing is blood. And so Yaren has her little blood coat thing that's from one of the last times that like that Dreadgod attacked. It like created like blood, essentially remnants or something like that came attack. One of them killed her parents. Like this one that she wears around her belt, I'm pretty sure, like killed her family. And so she doesn't trust him, but there's like a blood sage who's like weird and like just like super into blood. Weird. Like the whole multiple books are just like, this guy's so weird. And he's like, join us, become one of us, use your powers for blah blah. And Yaren's like, no. But then this guy wants to bring forth the blood Dreadgod, or the Dreadgod whose thing is blood. And so he does. And now they're all working on fighting this Dreadgod. And along the way, there's like a point system that's developed to like help. Like, all right, if you save this many people, it's this many points. And if you get enough points, then you can like, I don't know, get some powerful weapon or something. And Lyndon, our overachiever friend, is like, bro, I love points. And so he's become like the leader of like a group of people. And he is like dictating them, like he is all about points. And so he's like constantly like, how can we optimize and maximize? It's like when we were playing Triangle Agency and you guys are like hunting for combinations. This is Lyndon looking for points. And so essentially this
I
whole
believe
book is
I've made them feel welcome.
Yeah. 3 points, please, is essentially this whole book. And then Ethan and Yaren and also Orthos, the turtle dragon.
Turtle, yeah.
Taught him Blackflame. Also, Ethan uses Pure Madra and Blackflame. He's got both. At some point a while back, he lost an arm. I say Ethan, Lyndon lost an arm, and he got an arm that is essentially... So book 2 is called Soulsmith, because the people that write scripts and like create like magical artifacts, magical weapons, are called Soulsmiths. And he learns to be a Soulsmith. But he gets a magical arm, essentially made of pure Madra, from someone. So now he's got this arm that like it wants to absorb Madra from people and from things. And so he's essentially like, half of them is this black flame, like, I cast a fireball or whatever. and then the other half like is like this like vacuum that just wants to like suck people's magic out of their bodies. And when he does that, it makes him more powerful. So I feel like like that was probably the nerdiest sentence I've said. Like just the way I said it, I feel like my tone, it makes him more powerful. Anyways, I love the whole series.
Reminds me of like playing Imagination as a kid. Like,
Yeah,
no, my guy sucks your guy's magic out, becomes more powerful.
yeah. We should have had Bryce on for this episode. That would have been a lot of fun. But he just has to sit and listen. He's not allowed to interject, not allowed to correct. He just has to sit and listen.
We can redo it.
Yeah, next time, my next birthday. But yeah, and
Bryce's
then I'm pretty
birthday.
sure that yeah, Bryce's birthday. That'd be a fun podcast. Like we find someone's birthday every week, and it's their birthday episode.
That would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, everyone else, like, not only is there this Dreadgod, there are the other three, and so people are trying to figure out, like, what are we going to do about these other three? How are we going to handle this? And they managed to defeat the first one, but there's a small issue, which is that whenever you kill one, the others gain its power.
Ooh.
And then eventually, the one that you killed will, like, come back, I'm pretty sure, to... I can't remember exactly how that works. But they at the end of the book, I think they managed to defeat one of them, and so now there are three extra powerful ones. But there's also, like, I can't remember if it becomes clear here or it becomes clear later. For some reason, the reason that the Dreadgods are able to exist is because monarchs exist, because there's so much concentrated power within the monarchs that somehow that gives way to Dreadgods existing and being like this menace that could potentially destroy the world. All that has to happen is the monarchs have to decide to join the Abidan, Abidan, the Abidan, which is like what Suriel is a member of. They don't have to be judges. Judges are like the most powerful entities, but the Abidan is just like, you're above monarch. Like, you're above the highest person in Cradle. You can go into this next level. All they have to do is join that and like ascend to being one of those cosmos people, and they can do it. But like, they'd much rather be the biggest fish in a small pond than the smallest fish in a big pond, which I get, like, it makes sense. But them continuing to exist on the planet is like a threat to everyone on the planet. They've got the power, if they put all their effort together, they might have the power to destroy the Dreadgods, but they are not interested.
It sounds like billionaires.
It doesn't sound unlike billionaires. They have the power. I guess the Dreadgods are like climate change or like poverty.
I was thinking poverty, yeah,
Hunger.
or hunger.
Yeah, take that.
Hot takes.
Yeah, yeah. Courtesy of Will Wight. We'd love to have you on, Will, if you're listening. Sorry for what I've done to your books. They're wonderful books. I would love to have you on for this exact episode. It'd be great. Anyways, so that's Wintersteel, and I'm forgetting things, but I know like they kind of split up, and like Ethan and Orthos and someone else are like over at one place doing one thing. Wyndon is like on his points journey. Yaren is maybe presumed dead, but comes back at the end or something like that. Mercy is doing Mercy things. So there's that. Next, we move to Bloodline. So two things. Another thing that we found out. There is a Dreadgod under Ethan's hometown that is like being kept there, and it's being kept there specifically with this really massive script. And the script, so there was a plot hole, is a question that people had, like, it wasn't a plot hole, but it was a question that people had, like, okay, why, if golds and underlords and all that exist, why was, like, Jade the highest level that anyone in Lyndon's hometown had ever heard of? Like, what's the deal there? And then later on, like a few books ago, we see a map with, like, Lyndon's hometown circled, like, very dangerous, don't enter. Not only that, like I mentioned earlier, that Yaren was an apprentice of the sword Sage, and Sage is like, it's like level 2 of like how powerful you can be. Like level 1 is Monarch, level 2 is Sage Herald, and he was killed by a bunch of irons and jades. Like, how did that happen? And so what we learn is that there's a massive script. Sorry, we're working our way into book 9, which is called Bloodline. There's a massive script within kind of this like cave that is under Lyndon's hometown that makes everything, all the magic, significantly weaker. Like all the magic users significantly weaker because there's a Dreadgod asleep under his hometown. and like the goal is to keep it asleep and useless and powerless. And so that's why everyone in his hometown is weaker, and anyone who goes to his hometown automatically like feels weaker and like feels their energy draining because of the massive script that was made to do exactly that. So it becomes clear that his hometown is in danger because the Dreadgods are awakening, and so he goes back home to go save them. And I'm excited for this book because like the whole first book is like, hey, you're worthless, you suck, and now he gets to go home as like the most powerful person that anyone in his hometown has ever seen. And so he goes home, and essentially the reception that he gets is, you suck, pit pit. Like I'm pretty sure at one point his father is like, wow, like this is incredible, like imagine how powerful your sister could be if this had happened to her. And like different stuff like that. So it's like a lot of like I'm excited, like, oh, he gets to go home and be awesome, and essentially everyone is like, man, what a waste, like that it was on you instead of like someone that is capable.
Bruh.
Yeah, it's like a whole book of that. And then at one point he's like trying to lead people from his hometown to safety, but they assume they're also like, if he did all this, he must be dishonorable. He must be like if Lyndon achieved this, who knows what he got up to actually achieve this. And so they try to ambush him. Like some people from his hometown try to ambush him, and then like it doesn't work. And I'm pretty sure he like what he chooses to do to punish them is like punches them or whatever. Like two of them, maybe kills one, and then like punches the elder of his hometown in such a way that like it disrupts his Madra channels. So like he now essentially is unsouled and will be forever. And so it's apt punishment. But that's essentially that whole book is him trying to evacuate his hometown, and his hometown being like, yeah, it's really, there's no problem, and also you suck. So it's good. But he gets to see his sister again, and his sister is a bro and has always believed in him. So that's good. And over the course of it, his family starts to believe in him a bit more. Yeah, it's very frustrating. It was a very frustrating book to read. But it's also like realistic, like something prophets and hometowns. Like, yeah, like it's classic. It makes sense, like why they would think that, why they would feel that. It's realistic. It doesn't make sense. It's realistic. So it's a good book. Like I'd say one of the best books. Easily the most frustrating book.
Interesting.
Probably the least fun to read, but a really good one.
Probably the least fun to read, but one of the best.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because like he's my boy.
Yeah.
And they're putting disrespect on his name. That's all. So anyways, eventually, like his family does kind of end up following along with him the rest of the way, and a lot of his hometown. Well, technically, like it's like a valley surrounded by 4 mountains. Each of the schools has a mountain. Sacred Valley is what it's called. It gets evacuated more or less just in time for the Dreadgods to attack. There's a place like the cave essentially under. I can't remember exactly when we get into this. We'll assume it's okay. Here's how I'll put it. So he goes into a cave and he spends more time. He learns that Osmanthus was an Aurelius. So like the line that Ethan is from, like Ethan's family, and like one of the OG Aureliuses. So he learns that, and like in the cave is like Osmanthus, where Osmanthus liked to go to chill and relax. And so he goes, and there's like a hologram of Osmanthus for him to talk to, and Ethan spends some time talking to his ancestor as well, and that's all a thing. And then along the way in there, man, I think I'm getting ahead of myself, but along the way in there, he gets a weapon or something and like absorbs some things, and maybe, I'm ahead of myself. Book 10 is called Reaper, which, if you'll remember, Osmanthus is
the Reaper.
The Reaper is his.
Wait. Is he the Reaper or a Reaper? That is an important distinction.
Oh, that is an important distinction. I think he's like the judge. Like he's the Reaper who's over like the Reapers.
Okay.
Yeah, like he is the Reaper, but he's also like the head of the department, essentially.
Okay. Yeah. Regional manager.
Yeah, assistant to. But anyways, do you have any other questions before we get into book 10?
Not okay. What rank is he now? By this point, what rank is Lyndon? Probably, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I missed a major thing. I'm gonna guess Archlord,
Okay.
which is above Overlord.
Is Ethan still just an Underlord at this point?
No, he's been advancing along the way too. So he's like an Archlord or whatever. Whatever, like he's always like a step ahead of Lyndon, essentially. And then Yaren is like kind of on pace with Lyndon. Like Lyndon has caught up to Yaren. And maybe even ahead of her at points. Because he's got that dog in him.
It's because he saved all those people, got all those points,
He got all those points.
getting commendations.
No, so Yaren, so earlier I mentioned at the Uncrowned tournament, the dragon person comes back as an overlord and is like ready to fight and win. And then Yaren, all of a sudden, like during the fight, if I remember right, the sword icon shows up over her. And so now she has become the sword sage.
And that's
even though
because
she's
the sword
just an
sage was
Underlord.
killed by a bunch of irons and coppers.
Yeah. So she's become the sword sage, but she's also an Underlord. But now she's like significantly more powerful in her sword fighting or something, and so she wins the fight. But she's not like sage level yet. But she's got the icon. But she's the sage, but she could stand to be a bit more powerful. Listen, man, I don't make the rules. I didn't write these books. Take it up with William. If you do his name the Asian way, it's White Will. Okay, so we're into
Like
book
Moby
10.
Dick.
Leave Moby alone. That's funny. That was a good one, Gage. It took me a little moment. It was a good joke, Gage.
Thank you.
You bet. It was really funny. It's funny that I missed it too. All right, we're in Reaper now, and essentially, it's still like more of like, oh man, these Dreadgods are here. The Monarchs could help by leaving, but they won't because they're jerk faces, and so they don't. And then like they keep fighting more and more of the Dreadgods. Like they probably fight Dreadgod number 2, and I think Lyndon may have killed Dreadgod number 1 by like absorbing its power or something. So he's kind of becoming beefy and powerful.
Man, that really swole 15-year-old is now a more swole. How much time has passed?
At least a year, because there was a year in Blackflame where he was training for the fight with Jai Long.
So this could
And
be
then the
years.
rest, I would guess no more than 3
Okay.
between the very beginning and now, but probably closer to 2.
Gotcha.
So he's definitely advancing at like a rate that no one else ever has ever.
Except for that 12-year-old who was just born that way.
Except that 12-year-old who was just born that way. But what they realize is that the 12-year-old is a monarch in disguise. Also, the 12-year-old's a monarch. I can't remember exactly what the deal is there. It's like maybe technically her mom is the monarch and therefore she's like not, or something. I don't remember exactly how it works. She's like channeling the power of a monarch or something. Technically, she's a monarch. Pretending to be an Underlord so as to win this tournament, but still loses somehow. Or maybe like it's about to be revealed, so she's like, I volunteer to quit. And then I don't remember exactly what happens.
What's the opposite of a tribute?
Yeah. My sister can do it. Get in there, Prim. It's okay, Mom. She can do it.
I volunteer that tribute.
Have you... Okay, so there on YouTube, it was released recently, a video, it's like 45 minutes, called Hunger Games But Better or something like that.
The Hunger Games.
You've seen this?
I've seen large portions of it.
Good. I've seen the whole thing.
It's
good.
So funny.
I started watching with Angela because I
Mom,
thought she...
Hunger Games now, or whatever, ceremony now.
Yeah. Oh man, Prim is like screaming and crying, like, all right, Santa baby. Oh man,
Pete is just sitting there with like pink paint on his face. I can't believe you noticed me.
So good. Big fan. So anyways, that's what happens. Just picture, if you want to skip reading 12 books, go watch that feature film, and it's the same thing. Anyways, we're in Reaper, and Lyndon is still this powerful absorby guy, and now they're trying to convince the Monarchs to leave because, like, as long as the Monarchs are on the planet is under threat of like new Dreadgods existing, like Dreadgods continuing to exist. But if the Monarchs leave, then the planet can, work right. And so it's like a mix between fighting Dreadgods and fighting Monarchs. And at some point, I think the Mad King shows up, who was the cosmic enemy who the Abidin is fighting, because he's the one that keeps infecting worlds and like destroying them or whatever. And so he shows up and is just there and is like, I'm King Tony. Prepare to fight.
I'm mad.
Let me look up his name. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. Daruman, like Saruman, but with a D.
Dormammu.
I am here to challenge you or whatever. But anyways, he shows up. I think it's in this book. Could be in the next book. Pretty sure it's in this book. He shows up and is like, I'm here to destroy this place. Bow to me. And then Ethan is like, hey, so sorry. I'll be right back. I have to deal with something. And then essentially starts talking to his presence and it's like, engage Osmanthus mode. And he, the whole time, has been Osmanthus, like this person who's like the most powerful being, one of the most powerful beings in all the universe, pretending to be an Underlord because he was sick of all the politics up in the cosmos. And so he just wanted to spend some time back in his hometown, on his home planet, chilling out. And there's probably more reasons than that, like training someone up or whatever. Like he genuinely wanted to train up Lyndon and was training up Lyndon to be very powerful.
So I have several questions about that.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I was going to say, why did he pick Lyndon first? Second, how did the rest of the family not be like, yeah, we've never seen this Ethan guy in our life? Like, who?
Okay, so question number one, he has the same abilities that Suriel has. So he can see that, Lyndon is capable of great things. Yeah, and just helps. And, probably also has a similar experience where he sees Lyndon, do something that's, crazy. And he's like, oh, great. I pick you. You're great.
He's like...
You got that dog in you.
I was going to say, he's like, so not only does this guy have great potential, he's also crafty.
Exactly. Yeah. So something
I like
that.
The cut of his jib.
Yes. That's in the book. That's not in the book. But yeah, so something along those lines. As far as, how he kind of sneaks his way back into the family, I don't know. There is something about someone having, killed his dad or something. But, obviously his dad isn't that old, or killed the previous king. I don't remember, of the Aurelius tribe. The Blood Sage killed some relative of his. I'm honestly not sure how the process of him getting into the family worked. They all look the same because it's obviously a family. And at one point Lyndon is adopted, so his full name is Weishi Lyndon Aurelius. So just so that's out there. Yeah,
imagine that the Reaper, the guy, is just you're my kid now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if you think about it, there's this moment almost 2,000 years ago where the guy looked at many of us and was like, you're my kid now.
Ka-chow.
Thank you, JC. I felt weird saying that.
Sorry, God.
Sorry, God.
One time, I don't remember what the context was, but I said or did something, and then I jokingly looked up to the sky as if speaking to God and said, "You're welcome." And I can't remember what it was. I was 18 or 19 in Bible college, and it was one of those things I did it, and I'm immediately am I going to hell for that? I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. My apologies. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Which, how many of us have that attitude, but without being so direct about it?
Yeah.
I think my salvation is okay. I don't think I'm alone in having the attitude of all right, God, I did something for you.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not a good attitude to have, but I don't think there's such a thing that it's oh, you alone have done that today. You're going to hell.
I think a lot of us do have kind of that transactional view of our relationship with God, where it's like, okay, if I do this good thing for him, then he'll, bless me in this way. Or like, I remember
Yeah,
specifically praying in high school, like, God, if you help me win this tennis match, then like, I'm never going to sin again. I promise. Like,
man,
we like making wagers with God.
sure do. Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah. So that's probably all of Reaper. I don't know.
so Reaper mode
A
activates.
Reaper mode activates. I'm pretty sure Ethan Osmanthus just goes and beats the snot out of the Mad King, and then essentially it's like, hey, you didn't belong here. And so over the course of like the next book, like Ethan's gone because he's like back home in the cosmos being interrogated. Like, what the heck, dude? Where you have a job? Like, people were hurt because you left your job. What are you
Also,
doing?
if the Reaper could have beaten the Mad King, all like, why didn't he just, instead of destroying the worlds where the had been, just destroy the Mad King?
So I think part of the idea, like, worlds just kind of naturally decay as well.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. Um, and maybe in so doing, like, corrupt other worlds or something like that. Like, there's a reason to like pluck them. But there's some disagreement among the Abidin for like it takes less resources to just kind of prune the bad, like the failing worlds, than to like work hard to like help them fruit or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But in the ideal scenario, essentially you evacuate a world that's failing, put them in another world, destroy the failing one. I think is like the ideal, but there are politics within all of that. Book 11 is called Dreadgod, and essentially over the course of this book, here's a short one for you. Lyndon is going to kill and devour all the rest of the Dreadgods until there's one left, and then we're at book 12, Waybound. You have any questions?
Is he a Dreadgod now?
So he's absorbed all their power. It's like in a way, right? And at this point, he's like got the power of like three of them, but also maybe like they've died and he doesn't have their power yet, technically, because like the other one gets the power. I can't remember exactly how it works, but like essentially he's like he is as powerful, if not more powerful, than monarchs. And I'm pretty sure at the end of it's either the end of this book or the end of the next book, like he who at the beginning of this video was the least powerful person that could possibly exist tells a monarch who's the biggest fish in the small pond, like, hey, you're going to leave. You're going to go be the small fish in the big pond, or I'll kill you. And the big fish becomes the small fish, moves on to the next pond.
Okay.
So he is credible in his threats.
So that means he has to leave too, right?
He will. He
Okay.
will. And so the next book, essentially, maybe at the end of Dreadgod, book 11, I think maybe all of his friends have ascended and they've all gone to work for the Abidin and like deal with, this crisis of the Mad King. Because the Mad King also, like, he's going around running planets, but he's also like breaking the fiends or whatever, the other bad things and people out of like prison, so they can all go like wreak havoc as well. So it's like a whole crisis going on. So they're in recruitment mode, like heavily. Like, you got people, let's get them going. And so essentially, Waybound book 12, it might begin with him killing the last Dreadgod and becoming powerful, and then essentially the whole rest of the book is just like dealing with like, all right, he went and talked. He and Kelsa are good. His father finally accepts him. He went and talked to this person and that person,
It's
and
like,
then
you have to kill all the Dreadgods before I accept you. Your sister, on the other hand, just by existing, she's good.
yeah, I've heard a lot about Asian parents, and I feel like based on the little bit that I've heard, it doesn't sound unlike the stereotypes. Is all.
Is Will Wight Asian?
I don't think so. He looks like his name implies.
Okay.
Look him up. His last name is Wight. I think he just has a love for the genre.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like particularly, like maybe he's got some in him. I don't know. Hard to say, but probably not. Yeah. So anyways, book 12 is essentially just like wrapping up loose ends. Like, all right, and then it's been like a year since all of his friends have ascended, and so Lyndon ascends and then is there with all of his friends up in the cosmos, and then at the end it cuts to like he and Yaren are settled down in some village or something, and their kids are running around or whatever.
But like a cosmic village.
Yeah, something like that. The name, I'm remembering like this name scheme is duh. That's not kind. Okay. So yeah, they have at least one kid, and the kid's name is Liren, which is a combination of Lyndon and Yaren. And I read that and I'm like, this is that the best they could? Okay, it's the naming scheme from Descendants. If you've ever watched those Disney movies,
I have not, but I don't think I need to understand what you're talking about.
yeah. So anyways, that's the Cradle series. A 13th book was released this year, maybe, or well, 2025, maybe. That essentially is just like extra stories from the universe, and a lot of it is just like, I don't know. It felt like kind of like I feel like fan service has specific connotations, and there were no anime boobs or whatever, but like it just felt like a lot of like emotional fan service or whatever. Like, you guys enjoyed this, here's another fun story. I don't know. It wasn't all that good, but it's just a bunch of short, in my opinion. But it was just a bunch of short stories from kind of the extended universe.
Well, that's fun.
Extended universe. So yeah, but that is the Cradle series, and this is kind of a normal length episode, a bit longer than a lot of the ones we've done. A normal birthday episode.
So by the time I do some cutting of some things that will need to be cut,
extra short.
It might be normal. So,
man, I wonder how quickly we could do something. But yeah, so there's that. If you'd like, I could read you all of the backs of the books.
No, I think I actually perfectly fully understand everything that Mr. Wight intended.
Abridged. Cool. Do you have any last questions or last thoughts?
Yeah, what ended up happening to Osmandus?
Yeah. Essentially, like, people were like,
yes.
we're watching ya. And then he's still like one of the most powerful beings, so he essentially gets to keep being a judge.
They're like, we're watching you, and he's like, yeah, cool. Watch.
Yeah. Great. Watch me be awesome.
Yeah, watch me be cool.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then everyone else ascended too. So Mercy ascended, who I've mentioned like twice, but she was a bigger part in the books. And Yaren and Lyndon and maybe even Akira Justice, like Mercy's brother that was kind of a tool.
Okay.
Yeah. This has been the Cradle series, a special episode, a special birthday episode of Everything But the Cats. Like Gage said, we're the only show, and we're so glad that you chose to watch us, not that you had a choice. We're the only entertainment, so you're welcome, as a matter of fact. Thank you, and you're welcome. But for real, thank you for watching. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you're Will Wight, I'm sorry. If you're a big fan of Cradle, I'm sorry. I am too. I thought it was great. I just don't have enough time in my life to reread it as often as I would like to, which is a lot, because I really did enjoy it. I would highly recommend, even if you listen to this and you fully understand every single thing that's going to happen, still highly recommend that you read it, because it is a good book, a good series, and like I said, Will Wight uses more and better words than I do. Definitely worth a read. Thank you, Will Wight, for writing these books. Very good books. They really helped me, like I said earlier, get back into reading for fun. I've read a lot more books these past 2 years, and a lot of them were yours. So thank you. Thank you for that. Huge shout out, as always, to Adam Ward and Jared Scrother and Jacob Casey for writing different music for us for our show throughout the years, because we've been doing this for years now, plural. Anything else? Anyone else, Gage?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to DJ for having a birthday, and also for explaining all of this to me, the wonderful series that I will now eventually read. I'll read it all before our next episode.
Manchester.
You're going to have to smack me. Anyways, yeah, no, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you, DJ, for doing this. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I don't think so.
No, thanks,
No.
Gage, for listening. And sorry. When you read it, you'll know what I'm sorry for. As always, thank you guys so much. And as always, if our thanks aren't enough, two things. One, that stings. That really hurts. Two, please go thank yourselves. Have a happy my birthday.